Good morning, everybody. It is Lindsay here from wet and rainy Redcliffe. Queensland is getting a dump of rain at the moment, and it's hot, humid, rainy, and just gross weather. It really is. Anyway, it's Friday, everybody. I hope you all have had an amazing week, and I am just popping in here to have a chat, as I do, as an integrative health practitioner, to talk about a few things that I have noticed this week. So I've had lots of beautiful conversations with lots of clients, lots of new people as well, which is really awesome. But there's a real issue out there, right? For so many women when it comes to our bodies and changing and what we're going through during this phase, which I hate to call perimenopause, but it is, right? And that's what people are understanding. But what I know from working in this area for such a long time now, or in health, not particularly perimenopause, but I've been through it myself, is that people just aren't doing the basics right. People aren't looking after themselves. And then they're going to the doctors and getting medicated, and guess what that causes? More problems with our gut, more problems with our brain, more problems with our bodies in general, with our endocrine system. Okay, that is what runs our hormones. So ladies, you need to start looking after your foundational health. And when I'm talking about foundational health, I'm talking about literally things like drinking enough water every single day. Like, people just aren't drinking enough water. If your cells, so your 30 trillion million cells that we have in our body, are not hydrated, then guess what? Those nutrients that you're eating cannot get into the cells to give you energy. So we need water to plump up those cells. We need to hydrate our cells. And when I'm talking water, I'm not talking water in coffee. That doesn't count. I'm talking about these things. You need to be drinking 2 of these a day. That's 2 liters, I think. And if you don't drink that now, don't go try and drink that today, because you'll be feel all sludgy and sludgy. Start just by increasing it each day by another glass or another sip, or instead of that coffee, have some more water. We need to stay hydrated. It's so important, and even more so. And that comes down to your skin as well. Like, you'll really notice it in your skin when you're not hydrated. And again, that can cause the itchiness, dryness, all of the things, right? So that is my first basic. Who wants some more? I don't even know if there's anyone on here, but hey, I'm talking to you all, ladies. I want to reach out to you and just help you with the basics, because if you don't get these basics right, and then you go and get yourself put on HRT, and yes, you're going to feel better, but you're covering up those symptoms that really are not going to heal unless you do these things. Okay, second one is movement. A lot of people are not, or underestimating how much movement they're really doing. I'll say to people like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh God, I went for a walk. Okay, there's going for a walk and there's going for a walk. When I take the dog out for a walk, I don't class that as exercise, okay? Because he stops, he sniffs, he does all of the things. And that to me is just movement. I'm moving and maybe getting a little bit of blood flow, but it's not exercise. It's not enough. So if you're counting your dog walking or just going out for a little stroll as exercise, I'm sorry, ladies, but it doesn't cut it. You have to do more. You've got to be moving. You've got to be like 30 minutes, keeping that heart rate up to get anything out of it. And then we've got to add in the strength. Okay, so as we hit perimenopause, we're losing muscle. We are losing muscle, and it gets really hard to actually put it back on. Like, I have to work really hard to actually lift heavier weights to keep the muscle on. And guess what that does? When you've got more muscle, it ramps up your metabolism and chews through fat. So you need to be lifting weights. You need to go to the gym or get yourself some weights at home and start moving more and lifting more weights if you want to lose weight. Because the more fat you have, then you're just not burning stuff, right? Because fat just sits there. Muscle is really active and it will actually utilize, it will burn through calories. So you need to get moving and moving more and think about what you can do. Like dancing, it's free. Put some music on and dance around at home. When you do your housework, rather than just, slopping around, put some energy behind it, right? Get right into it. Put some music on, dance around, make it a workout. Sweat. A lot of people don't want to sweat. But guys, that's our detoxification pathways. When you're sweating, we are sweating out toxins. That's really good, right? But a lot of people don't want to sweat. They put fans on, they put aircon on to cool themselves down. And that is, again, a problem in itself because we're not releasing toxins from our system. This outer layer that you see, your skin, is your biggest organ. And that is where we release toxins. So sweating is good. So get your music on, don't have the aircon on, sweat, go and have a shower or jump in a pool if you've got a pool. Saunering, that releases toxins as well. So if you've got access to a sauna, start off slow and build it up. That is such a good way to just release toxins from your body. And so what I'm seeing, guys, is, we have got a foundational issue with what's going on with our health. Women we're full of toxins, we're stressed, we're not exercising enough, and our diet doesn't have enough nutrients in it. So we're eating and consuming calories, but we're not actually nourishing our bodies with what our bodies actually need. And a lot of the time, those nutrients, which are essential nutrients that we need because our body doesn't make them, we're not actually getting from our diet. And it's not your fault, right? It's because of what is going on out there in the big wide world and, comes down to the big food chains. And you just have to walk into a supermarket and see the shit that is on the shelves. I look at some of those packaging and some of the stuff that's in it. I'm like, that is not food. I don't even know what it is. And we're consuming that stuff. And that stuff is full of seed oils. And those seed oils are causing our omega-6 to 3 ratio to be imbalanced. And it's so imbalanced that it's really scary. And it's really scary for me as a practitioner seeing kids who are only 6, 7, 8 years old that I'm testing that are out of balance and way out of balance. Like I'm talking about like 25-1. And we should be at least a 3-1 or 1-1 when I'm talking about the 6 to 3 ratio. So these kids are consuming a diet high in omega-6, fatty acids. And yes, omega-6 is, when we look at omega-6 and omega-3, both of them are essential. But when they're imbalanced, omega-6 is pro-inflammatory, so it's causing more inflammation in the body. And we have a problem. And it's not just only perimenopausal women, it's families in general. Like they are so out of balance because our diet is so poor. And that is my top, when we're looking at food, and healing people and helping people change their habits, diet or nourishing your body is crucial. It all comes back to food. We know that, but our diets have changed so much over the past, 40, 50 years that we are just consuming crap. And it's paying off, right? Because people are now so sick and people don't know what to do. And then people go to the doctor and they get medicated. But when you look at, when I look at, functional lab testing or, tests to actually identify what's going on with your biomarkers, we can see the inflammation. And it's only then that we can go, right, okay, how far out balance are you? Okay, you're a long way out. Well, what do we need to do? We've got a solution. And then in 120 days, let's test you again and let's see where you're at. And the reason we test in 120 days is because the red blood cell turnover takes 120 days to renew, for you to have new red blood cells. So at the moment, if you've got shit cells, they're going to be turning over more shit cells. Hence why we end up with disease. So we need to get on top of our inflammation markers now, so we're not turning over shit cells and we've got good cells that can provide us with what we need. And we need a fully functioning mitochondria, which is inside the cell, and we need the outside of the cell to have the lipid membrane, which is those omega-3s, fatty acids around the outside to stop inflammation. So ladies, if you're on here or you're watching this or you're listening and you're curious to find out more, hit me up, send me a DM, pop test in the comments, and let's get you sorted, because it really scares me. Like, since October last year, I have tested maybe 100 people with this new balance test, and only one person has been remotely close to being in balance. I was out of balance, and I look after myself. So, you know, it just shows what we're eating. And I would have eaten fish 3 times a week. I have mackerel at lunchtime, tin mackerel. You know, but I was thinking, you know, I had a practitioner grade fish oil that I've been taking for 10 years. I would eat walnuts, flax, all of the things. But it just shows you that it's just not enough. So when you have a test to show you that, and we have a solution, and then we test in 120 days time to show you that we're moving the needle on your health, I know this stuff works. There's no other company out there at the moment doing what we're doing in this space, in looking at your biomarkers, being able to give you a solution, and then also test in 120 days to show you that we're moving the needle on your health. And, you know, on your family's health. Like, it's not just you ladies, this is about kids. Like, kids are being born with no omega-3 fatty acid in their system, because generationally it's being passed down, and we're just not, you know, and with the food chain having changed so much, kids just aren't getting what they need from their parents when they are conceived. So we are seeing this drop in omega-3 fatty acids in these kids, and these poor kids are being labeled, and these poor kids are being put on Ritalin. They're medicated like at 5 years old. Like, that is not okay. I am not okay with that. Like, surely, like, it just, yeah, it eats me up inside. So for me, I want to help families, but I ultimately want to help you as a mum or, you know, a woman who's going through perimenopause. I want to help 5,000 women over the next 3 years to really understand your foundational health and what your body needs. And first and foremost, get tested, and then go to your doctor, you know, if you still need HRT, for instance, which I'm okay with, right? That's fine. You've got to get sorted. But, yeah, people just need help. And I'm here to help you. So, after that Friday rant, I hope you have an amazing weekend. I am passionate about this stuff, right? And yeah, sometimes I think the conversations I had this week, I'm just like, far out, ladies. You really need to start helping yourself. You need to put yourself first. You need to look after you. Everyone else, otherwise, if you can't look after yourself, then yeah, it all starts falling apart. And those foundations, like I explained to some of my clients, you know, those foundations of our house, if they aren't stable and we pull out, say you've got, you know, a 3-story home and you pull out one part of it, it's all going to tumble down. It's the same with our bodies. Like, if you are not, you know, those systems in your bodies, one goes out of whack, say the endocrine system goes out of whack, then that has a knock-on effect on the nervous system, then it has a knock-on effect on cardiovascular system, and it just keeps going. And this is why we get this cascade of inflammation in the body. So I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Happy Friday, everybody. And yeah, if you want to have a conversation or want to have a chat about this further, hit me up. I do offer a 15-minute consult, which is free of charge, and we can go from there. See you later.